At first, the idea of Metal Slug Tactics can raise an eyebrow. Part of the major appeal of the Metal Slugs franchise lies within its trigger-happy, bullet-slinging, explosion-hopping nature. There's often no time for intricate strategies when you're scarpering down an endless wooden jetty, with a gargantuan crab firing explosive rounds at you. It's all about trusting your instincts, your reflexes, and your innate knowledge of the game, and pretty much all of the titles in the Metal Slug series reflects this. So the choice to break from tradition and create a Metal Slug strategy spin-off is perhaps peculiar at first glance, and antithetical to the core components of the franchise. But ever since Metal Slug Tactics was announced, I've honestly been counting down the days until I could actually play it. After a long absence though, we finally have confirmation that Metal Slug Tactics is set for release this year in the fall, and a demo is set to be available from June 10th to the 17th. I was fortunate enough to be given the chance to play the demo early and experience the short slice that .emo and Leaker Studios are serving up for Steam Next Fest. Series mainstays Marco, Eri, and Fiu make up your party for the initial playtime, and they're off again to thwart the plans of General Morden, as per usual. There's very little story to get in the way of the gameplay here, so in that sense, it's sticking true to its roots. Still, the inclusion of comm calls at least gives you an idea as to what you're fighting for and who you're going up against. The tactical planning starts even as you pick one of the missions offered up to you on the campaign map. Starting off on one node, you get the choice of which mission to tackle next, adding an enjoyable layer of decision making to progression. Each mission has a different reward for completing the main objective, as well as completely separate rewards for clearing the secondary objective too, so strategy comes into play outside the battlefield as well. Escort missions destroy all enemies, kill specific targets, so it's not always strictly a case of shooting anything that breathes, although missions often do turn into a bloodbath by the end. It's all about deciphering the most efficient way to complete a mission. The secondary objectives, while totally optional, offer a chance to test your tactical skills, whether it's ensuring that you save all the prisoners on the map, taking as little as damage as possible, or having one character contribute to a certain number of frags. Each of them gives you just a little something extra to keep your mind racing with strategic possibilities. As you jump into action, it quickly becomes clear that there's a lot of fun to be had with Metal Slug Tactics' approach to turn-based strategy. The core concept here is pretty simple, as you are encouraged to move as far away from your starting point each turn. Movement in the game generates two different resources that are vital to your success: adrenaline and dodge. Adrenaline is used to power your special actions, while dodge acts as a defensive shield when you're attacked. So the further you move, then the less damage you'll take from enemies. It's a rewarding way to encourage a more active and forward-thinking playstyle, which feels apt for a Metal Slug game. Factor in that you can use cover to also mitigate damage. It makes the act of simple movement just that much more engaging. You similarly get plenty of choices to consider when it comes time to perform an action. You can either simply open fire at an enemy with one or two weapons at your disposal, or you can choose to do a special action. These can be anything from powerful attacks, unique movement techniques, or even buffs and debuffs. Using these in particular can open the door for some funny and unconventional strategies. One technique allows you to make a character immune from harm for a single attack, which includes the NPCs you're escorting. With Marco's ricochet ability, I was able to fire that immune NPC and eliminate a foe that would have been just out of reach otherwise. It's moments like this that made my time with the demo truly memorable. On top of that, if your allies are nearby when you perform an attack, this can trigger them to do one of the follow-up attacks also. This can especially be useful for taking care of bosses, and it really feels like you're coordinating your squad efficiently when you pull off these special synchronization techniques. Even though there's so much to consider while playing Metal Slug Tactics, it's never felt overwhelming during my time with it. Each mission flows perfectly. One decision will evolve into another until eventually you find yourself coming out on top. Completing missions grants you the opportunity for character progression too, as you'll be offered weapon mods, new special actions, and passive abilities to enhance your loadout. With the promise that each campaign starts you off with a fresh loadout, there will likely be a great deal of replayability to be had in the full game. I found myself extremely satisfied after my brief time with Metal Slug Tactics. Its spin-off on the strategy genre really seems to be set to offer something fresh and engaging. That's before even getting into the character progression systems and, of course, the expressive pixel art that is such an iconic part of the Metal Slug experience. It may not be quite as frenetic as its forebears, but there's something here that just clicks and makes this seem like a unicorn that was always destined to succeed. Metal Slug Tactics is set to release in fall 2024, and I can hardly wait to get my hands on the full game. If you'd like to try the demo, it's available now until June 17th. Thank you for watching. Noisy Pixel is a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all of our future content. Now, enjoy some gameplay.
Noisy pixel.